you have come from the surface level where we just were. You are now in the watch level, WATCH.
Okay.
These doors that you just passed on your left would have been and still are the exit to the outside. There's a catwalk all the way around 360 degrees. And so that's where the lightkeeper would have gone to watch.
Oh.
Fairly simple enough. And you can see here in this picture, if I were to let you outside, this would be you out here on the watch level, right here. And we are inside the building, right inside here.
Awesome.
Okay? So you come up to see this light, and let's talk about the structure of the light and how it worked. The light had in its original configuration a mechanism similar to this box on this wall. It was like a clockworks, and so it operated like a grandfather clock. It had weights that hung down through the center of the lighthouse, and it had a crank on the side of this that every now and then somebody would have to come in and crank the weights up. And as the weights fell, they would turn the gears, and the gears would turn this entire mechanism. So looking at this, it doesn't look like that's quite enough to move 2,000 pounds around in a circle. And so the French came up with this other idea, and that was this bucket. So this tub, if you can imagine, has another tub inside of it, creating a channel all the way around the outside. And in the bottom of the light structure, there's a flange. So that flange sits in the bucket like this. But now fill the channel that flange sits in with 300 pounds of liquid mercury. And you are basically creating a frictionless environment whereby everything above us, the light and everything, is actually floating in this particular tub.
Oh, interesting.
To the point where you could have gone upstairs at one point when it was operational and turned the entire light with your finger. It was that smooth. And
wow.
That's why they could use a small clockworks to drive it. That's why when they went to electricity, they had a small gearing setup and a small motor. They didn't need anything more powerful than that to
wow.
turn this massive light.
Wow. Wow.
Now here's one of the pictures you want to get because you have a nice camera and I want you to get some nice pictures. It's our construction plate.
Oh, yes.
Right there on this side. So 1895 was built in Paris by this company. They're engineers and lighthouse manufacturers, and it was their number 343 light.
Wow.
343rd light that they were built in their history. So what is it that they built? They built a Fresnel lens. They put together a Fresnel lens. A Fresnel lens came in sizes from 1 to 6, first order to 6th order. We are a 3rd order lens, based upon the focal length of the light to the inside of the prism. But we don't look like that lens, because that lens has glass all the way around, and it has a cone on top that is also prismed glass, and it would look like more like this, where light went everywhere all at once, all out to the sides. We are a clamshell. We have a front and a back. We have a white and a red side, and that's all we have. So we're look a little smaller, but we serve the same sort of purpose. So Fresnel was a physicist from France, and he played with light and prisms. And this is what he came up with. He took a diffuse light source here. And when that light source went out in all its different directions, it hit the inside of the prisms. The prisms were so structured and so set up so that it would take those light beams and send them out in a straight line. So it did not magnify the light, but it intensified it. It combined it, it coagulated it, it compacted it, however you want to put it. It made that light look obviously much brighter for a much greater distance than if I had just held up a lamp in a window somewhere that you would have tried to have seen.
And what did you say the distance was this light traveled?
Somewhere between 16 and 18 miles.
Wow.
I've read different things. I've seen 18 to 20. So if we say 17 to 19, we're probably pretty safe. The red side went out a little less because it wasn't as intense when it started. So I'll talk about that when we get upstairs. So that's what these lights did. Now the nice part about this light and all other lights is this light had a particular pattern of light. It had a red side and a white side. It also had a particular speed of rotation. So when you saw it out at sea and you saw the flash of the light from the lighthouse, You could count the seconds in between the flashes and then go to your documentation and figure out you were outside the Grays Harbor Lighthouse because of the timing of those flashes and the pattern of those flashes.
Wow.
So every lighthouse had its own signature, whatever it happened to be. And that's how they knew where they were as they were navigating up and down the coast.
Imagine that.
It was tough to read the sign at night, that's why.
Yeah, right.
They had to come up with something
Yeah.
else. So, yes.
Awesome.
But it's a gorgeous structure. I mean, it really is
Oh, it
well
really
built.
is.
And I think
Yes.
you'll be very pleased you came up as you take the last of our 135 steps and head up for the light room.
Wow.
Light was put into service on June 30th of 1898. The light was taken out of service, unplugged, because it was electrified at that point, in 1992. And in 1992, the Coast Guard replaced this giant structure. As you walk around, you'll see a thing that hangs out the side of the building. Looks like it was a droid escaped from the Star Wars set. And that is currently the Grays Harbor Lighthouse. So that line out on the end goes out about 16 miles, not quite as far as this one. And the timing of this rotation has been slowed down a little. It's now 15 seconds between white and red flashes instead of the original 5 that was built into the video.
Just amazing they went from that to that.
Yes, it is. Well, in '92, we had, GPS, we had satellite imaging, we had laser pointers, and we had all that, which we didn't need the function of this huge light any longer, so they downsized and figured that would serve its purpose. It was, if you were looking for it, you would find it. Let's put it that way.
Right.
It wasn't as necessary as it used to be.
Wow.
So here are a couple of photo ops for you. Let's walk around back to the other side.